to laugh is it's not a gift, man. It's a trust. It's a community ideal. To be able to put people in the room, talk some of the most difficult of things, painful, hurtful things, but yet congeal an environment whereby people can see their own humanity, show compassion, and show mercy. Civil liberties attorney Clarence Zarrow also said when it came to humor, if you lose the power to laugh, you lose the power to think. With that, I present the Racism Comedy Lecture Tour Virtual Edition.
I think racism is the reason why you never ever see any black people in tanning commercials. You're laughing, but if you went to the local pharmacy, you saw a cardboard cutout of me with some suntan lotion, you'd be confused. It's a killer. They don't tell you this. It affects everybody. Guess what? Racism affects white people too. But they don't tell you. That's why I'm here. Work with me here. Black people have Black History Month. I'm Muslim. Muslims have Ramadan. Latinos have Latino month. Asian have. What do my white brothers and sisters have? Nothing. You don't have a Caucasian or White Month or Black Appreciation Day or a White Day or a Monkey Month or South Month or Rich Month or what do you have for pale culture? Put out your right hand. Extend 5 fingers. I call this the fives. It's a thing about language. Freedom. I believe there's always 5 letters to let us know just how close we are. 5 letters. Think outside the box. Here we go. You can count on them. 5 letters. I believe we all exist, EXIST, here on Earth, 5 letters, by virtue of the fact we all human nature with man. Therefore, it doesn't matter whether you're black 5 letters, white 5 letters, Asian 5 letters, Latino, I like the older A is still A&T, ain't true. I'm Muslim, that means I follow the land, that's 5 letters. If you follow Jesus, if you're Jewish, you Torah, 5 letters too. The point of this is, as good as the sound is always going to be hate, and it's 5 letters too. Because our power lies in our unity, UNITY. And the hater, you know how a hater is. Most of them are angry, some of them are upset, some of them are pissed off right now because damn it, they can't SPELL. It's okay. Tell the hater, listen, man, if you can't spell it out, do the math. If you take 3 things away from the 5, it leaves you peace. And that peace is spelled PEACE.
I proudly present the End of Racism Comedy Lecture Tour Virtual Edition, coming to a college near you.
Assalamu alaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh, everybody. I hope you're having a great day. Listen, it is Throwback Thursday, and I was thinking about something. I was really, it's the holidays and things like that. And I know a lot of times everybody gets hung up. Oh, it's Christmas and da-da-da. We got a whole lot of stuff. Should you celebrate it? I've decided, today we are going to back out of that a little bit. I don't really do it, but I want to back out of it a little bit. And what I want to do is I actually want to celebrate, if you will, the people who out celebrations, the uncles who come and have all kind of stories of where they've been, what they're doing, the aunts that cook the fruit. I just want to celebrate celebrating. Can we do that? So whether it's Christmas, whether it's Hanukkah, whether it's Kwanzaa, whether it's Ramadan, Eid, just celebrate a little bit. And I know you guys know exactly what I'm talking about, because tomorrow, doesn't matter whether you're Muslim, a Jew, a Christian, atheist, everybody's going to be taken off. What? For Christmas, except for people who are essential workers. And of course, shout out to all the frontline people who are going to be putting in that work over the holidays. So change the format up a little bit. You know why? Because I can. And I think you guys deserve a little bit more of a show. So here's the deal, brothers and sisters. I'm going to introduce everybody and give some rules for the show. We're going to take a quick break. The rules for the show are simple. If you're on the show for the first time, pay attention. Pay attention, because the ShOUT family does not post rules. I give it up front. If you're on the show for the first time, enjoy yourself. We appreciate you coming. We thank you for spending this little bit of time with us. You could have been other places, but you're here. That's number one. Number two is when you come, enjoy yourself. If you have something you want to get off your chest or share with the rest of us will be the ShOUT family soldiers, ShOUT family soldiers, the stars in the building, if you will. I want you to just jump in the comment section, throw something out there if you don't mind. Now, the last thing is hit that notification button, the subscription button, trying to grow the project. You heard me say that. I always say it, and I will put up the opening part of it, if you will. So outside of that, brothers and sisters, I'm going to come back in a minute. I'm going to run the intro, and I'm going to introduce to you some of the stars of the Shout Out Show. Be right back. Hey, everybody. Assalamu alaikum. Hope you're having a wonderful day. Make sure that you hit the subscribe button and the notify button so you'll know when you're getting new episodes. And we just want to grow this project. I thank you in advance. Without further ado, let's get it rolling. The Shout Out Show. All right, everybody, we're back. I did the opening salvo for the people, and hey, let me shout out my regular family here. First up, always on the top, Sister Ree. How you doing out there in Michigan, Ree? Let us know. Is Auntie all right? Is she rehabbing? Are you being a good niece to Auntie? Don't make me come out there and come out myself, like James Brown said. Don't make me come out myself, Ree. You better make sure she's doing all right, and give me a phone number because sometimes you can be deceitful. I'm gonna check for myself. You can't trust people sometimes, people. Sister Sultana, all the way out of New Jersey, our consultant producer. Sister Sultana, I hope you're doing well. I hope your phone situation is solved. Everybody pray for Sister Sultana because she got a new phone from the grocery store. It's a track phone. Don't laugh at my sister. I mean, her phone number only has 6 digits after the area code. I'm messing with you, sis. You know I'm messing with you. Give me a call after the show if you don't mind. Let's try and strategize for tomorrow. Sister Ike, all the way from Indonesia. Thank you so much for coming in Indonesia. I think she's out there for a family member's wedding. God bless you. And hope you and your family are doing well. Alta, my main man, the Iron Man from Toronto, from Canada, always checking in on the show. Man, we appreciate you, brother. You know, it's nothing but love when you come on the show. And I just want you to know, if I don't say it enough, I apologize, man. We appreciate you coming on the show. If I don't say it enough to everybody, I appreciate you coming on the show. This is our little part of my work, Christmas Eve show. I call it a holiday show, so I don't have people going, oh, stop it, law. It's a holiday show. You know why? Because I ain't got nowhere to be, and I don't owe nobody no money this month. So on top of that, you know what? I thought about this earlier today. It's like, why do so many people get so stuck in this whole idea of, the religious holiday is going to be the religious holiday. But, you got to celebrate people. You got to celebrate people. Like I had an uncle. He'd always come to the party. Not to the party. He'd come to whatever, the dinner, the Thanksgiving, the Christmas back in the day. And you know why we loved him? Because he talked a lot of smack. You know what we need now, brothers and sisters? You know what we need dearly? We need people like our uncles and our old school aunties, our old school uncles who just talk smack. Our grandpa who just sat there and talked smack all day long. And we didn't get mad at him and talking smack. You know why? Because it was funny. It made us laugh. And we're missing laughter these days. So even though we even going to the holidays, you have a lot of people who are just bah humbug and they're not happy. I'm like, look, I'm going to say some old stuff. I'm going to say something old right here. Hey, you better be lucky to be on this side of the dirt. And I do mean that, to be on this side of the dirt. A lot of people aren't here from a year ago. So stop that foolishness. But you need people who make you laugh. Like I had an uncle. I would ask him for money when I was a kid. He'd give me like $5 every time I saw him. Christmas, I got 10. Okay, here's my point. Before I got the money, I would listen to him rattle off all the reasons why he didn't have the money. Did you ever have an uncle like that? He had money, but to get the money, he had to listen to all of this conversation about the money he doesn't have. Like my dad. My dad would do that. Hey, man, shoot, this is rough out here. I got to pay them. And he go for a long time. Then he go, all right, bro, how much you need? That's what I miss. The family aspect of it. Now, this holiday is going to be strange because they're doing social distancing and all that type of stuff. My point is, you know what? It's social distancing. It shouldn't be family distancing. You should know your family and what they need and be willing to celebrate with them at the drop of a hat, brothers and sisters. And I'm here to say, listen, I don't know where I'm going to be, but I will tell you this. I will party with my family till the wheels fall off. My aunt, I don't have any more uncles, but my aunts and my cousins, there's certain things that we grew up with. Like my Uncle Frank, funny guy. Uncle Frank was the guy who would tell you he never have any money, but he give it to you. And I said, Uncle Frank, give me some money. That's how young I was. I didn't know how much money I wanted. I just said, Uncle Frank, give me some money. I made money a pronoun. You hear what I'm saying? Not how much, money. $5, I didn't know anything about. Give me some money. And someone had to tell me how much money I had. That's how young I was back in the day. And my Uncle Frank would give all these funny stories about how he was broke. Oh, there we go. There you go. I got a witness. Or they make kids sing or dance before they gave them money. Sister Sultana, I did both. Now, some of y'all gonna laugh, but I did funny dances and you guessed it, told jokes. When I got older, guess what I would do? For money, I went in. When I got a little bit older, you know what I do? I would imitate my Uncle Frank talking about how he ain't had no money. And doggone it, I was good at it. You know what I would do with my Uncle Frank? I would sit and watch him. He was a little heavy set, but he had like the George Jefferson hair on the side. It was like male Afro puffs. And my Uncle Frank would sit there and I say, Uncle Frank, how much money you have? And he said, boy, I ain't got no money. I said, come on, Uncle Frank. And he would start with the broke. The broke are hilarious because you have to tell them, and you got to get at least 6 in a row before everybody start laughing. He go, boy, I'm broke as the Ten Commandments. Boy, I'm broker than a bum with hammer pants on. Boy, I'm so broke, man. I'm broker than a church with no choir. Boy, I'm broken than salt without pepper. Boy, he would just keep going. Boy, I'm so broke I had to lay my shadow off. Boy, I'm so broke I can't afford to be married. Boy, I'm so broke I can only work during the day. I had to lay off midnight. Do you understand just how funny that is? And he would do these stories, brothers and sisters, all the way to when presents were open. More importantly, though, when the food was served. I personally believe there's no reason to have a holiday if you ain't gonna serve no food. That's why the other holidays are. Hold on, just a moment. I got a problem here. I believe this, brothers and sisters. You shouldn't have a holiday without food. You should not have a holiday without food. That's why all the other holidays that aren't Christmas, that aren't Thanksgiving, what do they have? Food. You can't have an Eid without food. I'm not saying that it's a hadith, but you better have some food somewhere, someplace, somewhere, and somebody better be able to eat it. So I actually get a chance to say just a few things, and I just want to not wrap up, but I just want you guys to take a little break, and I will be right back. I got a little bit. Why would I do a CD called Confessions of a Muslim Comedian? And that was the idea of bringing entertainment to Muslims, for Muslims, about Muslims, but for everybody. I got Dean in my life. Who is Dean? What you bring Dean around here? You know how Muslims get you all hyped up? And he said, brother, you ready to be Muslim? I said, yeah. He said, you know what that means? I said, tell me, brother. He said, you ready to give up the swine? I said, yes, sir. I'm giving up the swine. He said, are you ready to give up the alcohol? I said, yes, sir. I'm ready to give up the alcohol. He said, you ready to give up the women? I said, yes, sir. I'm ready to give up the alcohol. I'm back, everybody. Sorry about that. Just a small technical difficulty. So forgive me. Your brother's not perfect. Every once in a while, I have a technical difficulty. But my point was, does anybody feel like there's a spiritual connection to holidays and food? I talked one time about the holidays, my aunts, and how they would overcook food. And when I was young, I never really understood why they overcooked food. And the whole neighborhood would do that. And the reason they would do that, brothers and sisters, because they were literally feeding aspects of the neighborhood that they knew didn't have food, which is an amazing thing when you think about it. It is a social community welfare that people, brothers and sisters, will look at, check it out, will look at people before it's a total crisis situation and give them food because it's so much of a big deal about people having dignity on holidays. People having dignity on not even holidays. I'm just talking about the aspect of family gathering. And I've really begun to think that or rethink that, particularly with this whole thing with social distancing and people who are not able to see their loved ones. I've seen some things on TV where I know I'm not saying it's far fetched, but kids have to reach through saran wrap to hug their grandmoms and stuff like that. And I thought to myself, this is real. Like, this is real. And this is why, we talk about COVID and things like that, but we're not talking about the coherency of family. One of the things that I've noticed, and I could be wrong, but a strong family, a very strong family, I believe is one of the biggest antidotes, or I would say antidotes to COVID-19. That your family has a core understanding of safety, health, and imagine if families, a large group of families, I'm talking about a major cross-section in the United States of those people who took health seriously, not just my health, but your health. And those people, like the people I said in the back in the day, who understood that there was a community wellness understanding for those who didn't have, those who did have. Because it's interesting. This is the first time I want to say in my lifetime that when people get sick, you can't go to see them. That when people get sick, you can't go to see them. One of the things I would say one of the things in the church, one of the things in the mosque that I always pay attention to, and I'm sure everybody does. So if I'm being redundant, I apologize. One of the things I used to remember in the mosque, and I would sit and wait, and in the church, we would sit and wait. My mother would not let me leave. We would not leave till we heard the roll call of what was called the sick and shut in. Hear what I'm saying? The sick and shut in. These were people who could not come to church, who could not fellowship. And when you heard who was sick and shut in, guess what? It was a very casual, gentle nudge to go see these people. I've seen them when my mother was sick, they would come by. I've been on that call to go see people, and it's not beyond myself or anybody else here on the show. Just like Reed. Reed was just in Michigan to see her auntie. She wasn't able to see her auntie. The moment that her auntie was released from rehab and could have company and receive company, she was gone. She was gone. She was like, I'm out. Now I'm saying this is, I'm pointing out Reed, and I'm pointing out these situations because everybody's done it. Everybody's done it. And to a man and a woman, that is the thing that's missing in society today. We talk about social distancing, but we don't talk about ethical distancing. We don't talk about moral distancing. When I say moral distancing, ethical distancing, I'm talking about people who have moved away from morals, people who moved away from ethics. See, Throwback Thursday, a lot of times when we talk about clothes and food and the people made it, those people, even it was my Uncle Frank with that little bit of that money, I asked him for it, and he never said how much, and I never knew how much. But I learned that when he gave it to me, forget the money. I appreciate it because I got it from my Uncle Frank, or I got it from my Uncle June, or I got it from my Uncle Earl. You see what I'm saying? I ain't never get no money from my Uncle Reggie. But I'm saying I got it from all my uncles. And what I learned was, 1, how to ask. 2, how to appreciate. 3, how to respect money. Because in a very soft sort of way, they let me know I didn't have any money. And not having any money let me know that I didn't have a job. Yes, I talked about my dad telling me, man, I ain't got no money. Shoot, you better get a job. Now he's saying get a job. I'm what, 4.5? But I remember that because I understood this was a rehearsal for real life. This was a rehearsal for when you got to go out and get money. You got to think, I have to go out and work. I have to have an ethical base. I have to have a moral understanding of how I go out and get money. My dad didn't go out and say, go and get money, go rob somebody. Your mother and father didn't say, hey, go sell drugs. And I'm not castigating anybody. Everybody has their own narrative. Believe me, I know. But to that point, though, look at the narrative that's established, though. That is not a give me world. You see, the funny part was I didn't get to ask my Uncle Frank for money every day. I didn't ask my mom for money every day. I didn't ask my father for money every day. And the money they gave you, you would budget. They were like, that $20 is supposed to get you all the way through, and you would budget it. But let's get back to this part. But since I didn't even put my banner up today, I just got so excited. It's just the fact that beyond everything that's happening in the world, we're still going to have celebrations. We're still going to have opportunities to say, yes, we're still human. To say, yes, everything that happened, it's okay. To say, you know what? Next year will be better. And I don't even say next year will be better. I say next year, I don't know if next year, but can I make the next 5 minutes better, the next hour better? You have to learn sometimes all this craziness going on. You got to micromanage your happiness. You gotta manipulate your happy gene a little bit and stop waiting for the world to take a poop on it. You gotta shine it off yourself and show it to people. It's almost like a light. It's almost like a lighthouse on a bay. You gotta shine that happy gene up and show it to people because you don't know who's looking for that light, that little bit of light. And I always tell this story, folks. I tell a story, about your attitude. Your attitude. See, your attitude is not your attitude because you put it out in a public space. I always tell this story, and I might have told it here. If I did tell it before, please forgive me. Years ago, I was doing colleges. I was out in Nebraska someplace. I can't even remember what part of Nebraska it was. But I remember going out there and not being in a good mood. Now, people, I should have been in a great mood. You know why? I'm doing colleges. I'm making pretty good money. This was so much better than the clubs that had to deal with alcohol. But somehow I got into a rut. I don't know what was on my mind. And I'm sitting here thinking, man, I don't want to do this college. I'm da-da-da-da. Now, okay, let's just say it. I'm on my own BS, okay? I'm on my own BS. I did this college, and what I remember is I didn't feel well, and I was just nagging. I'm not a good complainer, but I would complain about everything this particular day. It was a noon show. I complained about it being a noon show. I got there, and I started the show, and I still was kind of reticent about everything. I wasn't in the best of moods. But as I started doing the show, I got the energy from the crowd, and they were laughing, and I was laughing. And, I started feeling better. And even in my mind, I'm like, you know what? These people have no idea what your problems are. Stop trying to tax them with your problems. And you know what I said to make this whole thing better? I said, let's celebrate. Let's celebrate. And I said, you know what? This is a party. This is a holiday. I'm making it a holiday. And on this holiday, you enjoy yourself. You laugh. You raise your hand, whatever. And the show went really, 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 really well. And when the show was over, there was a young lady in the corner. I'm getting my roses from people. Let me give her a shout out. Wa alaikum assalam wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh, Sister Satana. Thank you for coming on the show. We appreciate you. So at the end of the show, after I told everybody it's a holiday, I'm getting ready to leave, and I saw this woman over in the corner. She was a white female, and, I was like, okay, well, she looked like she wanted to say hello or something. Looked a little, shy. I was like, hey, how are you? Did you want to speak? You want to be nice. And she came over. She said, yeah, I did want to talk to you. I was like, how are you? And my name is blah, 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 blah. And she told me her name, and I was like, okay, cool. And she said she enjoyed the show. I said, I'm great. I'm glad you enjoyed the show. And we talked about some of the issues, because there was an issue around race and diversity. And she said, you know what? I really enjoyed the show, and I'm glad I came. I don't know what I'd do if I didn't come. And I found that comment really, really odd. I was like, what do you mean you don't know what you She goes, well, I debated back and forth about coming. I saw the ad for the show in the school newspaper. I said, all right, everybody doesn't have time to come. Check it out. You got life, you got courses. She said, nah, I'm glad I come because I don't know what I would have done if I didn't come. I said, what do you think you would have did? What do you think you would have done if you didn't come to the show? And the lady said, sir, she goes, I was thinking about taking my own life. I was like, excuse me? She goes, I was thinking about taking my own life, about committing suicide. And the thing that rushed over me, other than the welfare of this woman, was this fact. What if that bad attitude that I had early in the day, where I was complaining, I was obnoxious, I wasn't grateful, I wasn't thankful, what if I carried that attitude onto the show and that woman saw that attitude? As opposed to the guy that was grateful to be there, happy, enjoying the situation, making it a holiday. I literally think, and I still think this way, that if I had somehow carried that attitude on the stage, that might have been the thing that would have pushed her over. Now, I'm a religious man. I think that might have been the thing that pushed her over. That might have been the little edge that said that, you know what, life ain't worth living. I came to see a comedian, and he was negative. And he was spiteful. He was ungrateful. He had no light. He showed me no light. And I'm sitting here going, wow. Imagine that on Judgment Day. They show that video of that young lady. Well, all I had to do was be thankful and be grateful. Sometimes the holiday, brothers and sisters, is not for you. The holiday is for the people around you. I think about Christmas. All the years my parents would do Christmas and buy toys. You never really understood it, because when you were young, what did you tore into the toys? Yay! Eat, you tear into the, yay! And we never really stopped to understand till we get older what the sacrifices were for the toys. I'm not talking about in December, I'm talking about the whole year. What they gave up. My brother's on the show yesterday, and he talked about he wanted to do something nice for his son. So instead of getting his car fixed, what did he do? He rode the bus. I'm like, you know what? And I'm pretty sure my nephew didn't even know his dad was riding the bus. And we don't want our children to know that we're struggling in any way, shape, or form. But the fact of the matter is, I know I'm older now. I see the sacrifices that my parents and my aunts and my uncles, God rest their souls, and especially my Uncle Frank. My Uncle Frank. Even when my Uncle Frank was ill with diabetes, and I went to see him in the hospital. You know what he did when I walked in? I gave him a big hug. What's up, Uncle Frank? And by this time I was older, I was a comedian. What's up, Uncle Frank? And I'm going to tell him some jokes. He said, bring my pants over here. I said, what do you need your pants for? How much money you need? By this time I was old. I was like, Uncle Frank, I need about $100. Can you help me out? But when he passed away, I remember every time he gave me that little bit of money. And it wasn't that little bit of money, brothers and sisters. It was that little bit of attention. It was a little bit of love that says, you know what? Whatever's going on in the world, Uncle Frank got you for at least a couple of dollars. Me, when I think about it, why did I really love my Uncle Frank? It wasn't the money. It was the attention. The attention you got from an adult. The attention that you got from somebody that said, you know what? That person, that little man right there is worth something. And while we get it from our uncles and aunts and everything, we get it from our parents, you know what? We got to remember to give it to other people. Not just our children, but the people around us. Every once in a while, you got to ask somebody how much you need. How you doing? Are you hungry? Because this is a commerce of love. This is a currency of love. And when you have that currency of love, you can't hold on to it because it's not love. It's selfishness. You have to give it to other people. So I'm inspiring everybody. Maybe, a little bit, it's okay to be Uncle Frank. I'm not saying, lose your hair and have it on the side. I'm not saying you got to gain weight or something, but you do have to gain empathy. brothers and sisters, listen. It's been great. I love you. I'm going to be back tomorrow. I don't know where I'm going to be, but I'll be back tomorrow. Same preacher time, same preacher channel here for the SOS. Because, we don't stop, can't stop. Right, Sultana? Don't stop, can't stop. So for all of you, once you get your food, brothers and sisters, once you get your food and you eat way too much, tune in, 5 o'clock Central, 6 p.m. Eastern, 3 p.m. on the West Coast. I want to say Sister Rabina, she's not here today, but I think that's 11 o'clock UK time. Please tune in. And until that time, brothers and sisters, please, guess what? I'm going to ask you, for lack of a better word, until that time, have a holiday. I'm Preacher Moss. This is SOS. God bless you, everybody. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.
Hey everybody, this is your brother Preacher Moss. Listen, I hope that you enjoyed your shout out show experience. We'll be back with the next show, the next shout out show. A simple ask before you go, please help your brother out. Click that subscribe button, click that notify button, and I'll see you again on this side of the microphone. You probably wonder what that smell is. That's me. I smell good. And the reason I smell good is because I use oils from Tarif Altar. So I'm not saying you can't smell good. I'm not even saying you stink. I'm saying you have the opportunity to smell exquisite. Check out TarifAltar.com for some of the best oils and scents in town.